previously on Confused Reviews.
Next up, my child.
I can't wait.
You're okay. This one, real fucking ugly. Oh. You see, I take these glasses off. She looks like a regular person, doesn't she, huh?
Put them back on. Formaldehyde base. That's what we got.
Really, Freddy? A double dream fake out? Disappointing.
What? I gotta get you paying attention somehow.
Okay, so, what you want?
Remember, you have to review The Dream Child?
Oh yeah, that's still a thing? Do I have to?
Well, unless you want your insides to be outsides, I'd suggest doing it.
Well, as annoying as these vague threats are, I'm not really in the mood to question it, so let's just review The Dream Child. Hello and welcome to Confused Reviews, where our cartoon drawing reviews movies, and as I continue Freddy's review demand fuckassery, next up on his list is none other than A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. It continues the storyline of Alice, the protagonist of The Dream Master, as she struggles to have a baby whilst facing off against Freddy. Once again. Oh, and this is actually the last Elm Street movie where Freddy kills kids from Springwood, cause he got all the Elm Street kids, eventually gets all the Springwood kids, and then who gives a shit? Just kill anyone who lives in the same continent as the guy. And if you ever wondered why the poster for this movie is so odd, it's because they finished the poster before they had a secure story for it, ensuring this masterpiece had a lot of pre-production care put into it. But then again, the Dream Warriors poster was random as fuck too. I mean, who are these people? Taryn? Kinda? Joey? Maybe? Kristen? The gray hair is random, but it could be Nancy's. And I guess Kincaid on the end? Possibly. And that turned out to be one of the best horror movies ever made, so let's take that with a grain of salt.
Not.
So let's hop back into Elm Street to see if Fred Marries Baby was a good decision to take a sequel or should have left Freddy the fuck alone. This is A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child. So the film begins with a lack of a numbered subtitle. There you go. And we jump right into a sex scene. Geez, that sounds like something I'd say when talking about a Hellraiser movie. Anyways, we arrive at a shower scene ripped right out of a Friday the 13th movie, with the ominous forward dolly shots and all. Weird. 2 creepy homages in the first 5 seconds.
Coincidence? I think not!
After getting those horror rip-offs out of the way, we waste no time jumping into some boob shots where Alice, played once again by Lisa Wilcox, realizes she needs to fire her shower repairman as it breaks apart and fills with water, and transports her to the asylum where Amanda Krueger was impregnated. Oh, and I see you, Robert, trying to sneak a cameo past me. Fucking asshole. Alice then dons the nun getup and is locked in the room as she's given the same look frat guys give a single girl at a party, and she jolts awake for a non-makeuped Freddy to attack her. Jeez, how low is this movie's budget? Anyways, enough confusing dream shenanigans, as we have to introduce our Freddy bait. Dan, played once again by Danny Hessel, Greta, played by Erica Anderson, Mark, played by Joe Seeley, and Yvonne, played by Kelly Jo Minter. We see our new graduating teens are about as bland as a Ritz cracker, and we get the mandatory little girl singing bullshit. We then go into another church and take forever strolling through a hallway. We then see Skeletor's stroller and also have the pleasure of witnessing Amanda Krueger give birth. Delightful. Oh, and turns out she gave birth to the basket case, and the little fucker starts screaming, reawakening Freddy. Jeez, and I thought the dog pissing fire to resurrect Krueger was stupid. Anyways, he pops the glove back on and has a longer left arm for some reason, and I don't know why, but the Freddy makeup this time around looks kinda awful. They say in the amazing Never Sleep Again documentary that
on Elm Street 5, the changes on Freddy were to make him a little more aged.
If you wanted that, why have less makeup? It should be like New Nightmares Freddy, with more ripped-off skin, even more tattered clothes, and a possible broken-up glove. Not something that looks like this Party City mask. I'm so sorry, Robert Englund, that you were forced to wear that shit all day. My sincerest apologies. Over on the set of Jaws 5, actually, now that I think about it, being that they did Freddy Shark in the last movie, I wouldn't be shocked if he showed up here. Well, that ruined my joke. We do some group bonding, and that reminds me. I love how in movie school, all kinds of different stereotypes all become friends. I have yet to attend a school where a jock hangs out with a comic book nerd, a model, and a swimmer at the same time. I'd love it if people were all friends like that, but in reality, kids are fucking mean and don't leave their friend comfort zone. Whoa, I got super off track. Anywho, Dan is informed by Alice that Fred's back and rushes to go get her. Freddy intervenes, however, and proves to be into that 50 Shades of Grey bondage filth. And...
Back here, Dan!
really scraping the bottom of the toilet bowl with that one-liner.
Fuck you.
Stop your whining. Being back's got me all bubbly. I want to pop the cork off these Elm Street kids. Anything would have been better than bad year.
You're a real asshole sometimes, you know that?
He then causes Dan to crash through the windshield and back into the school. He then Grand Theft Autos a motorcycle and is literally attacked by the bike. We then see Freddy's going through his Transformers phase as he morphs Dan with the bike and turns him into a Morton Joe's and the Deadites' love child. Fun fact, this death was significantly cut down by the MPAA, and as expected, the uncut version is way more brutal and way cooler. You see, folks, showing a man have wires and cables slash into his hand is okay, but having it go in an extra 5 inches will forever destroy your mind and completely unacceptable to the human eye. So Dan bites the big one, and we find out that, wait for it, Alice is pregnant. What? You aren't shocked? The name, poster, tagline, trailer, and earlier dialogue didn't keep that from being a big reveal, so why has it lingered on for so long? Later that night, we see Jacob, otherwise known as a freakier looking kid than Damien, played by Whit Hertfold, is acting, so fucking creepy. We see Greta's heartbroken over Dan's death and even breaks a doll like how they kill Slappy in Goosebumps. And we have our classic Elm Street history lesson. And we eventually end up at the dinner for schmucks with all kinds of creepy assholes making fun of Greta. And apparently her mom is a huge Sharon Osbourne fan, for they have some similarities. Anywho, Freddy shows up and force feeds her some slop, and she winds up in Alice's fridge and pulled in by Chef Boyar England. The 3 remaining idiots have a chat inside a Home Depot and wind up in Mark's comic book kingdom, and he falls asleep. They were literally just talking about how they can't do that and need to survive. Nice job, jackass. Alice then uses the power of scribble knots and draws herself into the dream. Mark almost gets himself sucked into the opening of Seed of Chucky when he falls out of the dream, and Alice has another encounter with Jacob. It's as creepy and uncomfortable as before, but before anything can happen, they both wake up. The next day, Alice is checking up on her baby and finds out that he can in fact dream up to 70% of its day. And as I heavily relate to this, she starts spazzing the fuck out and sees that weird thing in Donnie Darko. And as she sees the souls of her friends being fed to her fetus, Freddy acts really creepy and we find out that's how he's been killing her friends while she's awake. Showing now, even staying awake won't save them. I think I've heard that somewhere before. Anyways, what the hell? That tree has pants on. Badass. Anywho.
I am your friend, and I'm worried sick about you. That's why it's time for you to leave the Twilight Zone and face reality.
Krueger is reality.
No, not quite yet. Wait till 1994. The 3 Musketeers reunite, but Yvonne is over this movie and runs off. And we have another boatload of exposition, and we find out Amanda Krueger wasn't buried at all. And her grave was just a crock of shit. So you're telling me they said the cause of death was hanging, but never could produce a body. Even Ed Rooney was smarter than this.
Yeah, you just produce a corpse and I'll release Sloan.
Yvonne wants to do that Rodney Dangerfield triple Lindy when she's attacked by Burger King chicken fries and ends up in the sunken place from Get Out. She reunites with Alice in the Death Star's trash compactor, and Freddy...
Are you wearing eyeliner? Susan!
I don't know, Steve. Either that or Nosferatu caught on fire. Freddy then nopes out of that roasting, and we bounce back to Mark, who finds an Elm Street comic. Hopefully the Ash vs. Freddy vs. Jason issue. That one seems cool. Oh, and we see as he's flipping through, it's being written as he's reading it. Kinda like this movie's script. Mark's attacked by a colorless Freddy who causes the set to collapse, and he turns into his favorite comic book character, and...
Time to die, you scar-faced limp dick!
Ooh, he got you.
Keep watching. I don't let that shit slide.
He fills Freddy's chest with holes with those guns from arcade games, but Freddy bounces back as Super Freddy with a random lightning bolt on his chest for some reason. And he cuts Mark until Bob Marley's favorite colors drain out and he shreds the bastard. I think this is a pretty damn good kill. It's not great or gory, but it's inventive and creative, and fitting for the character. And out of this movie's 3 kills, it's right in the middle. Not great like Dan's, but not shit like Greta's. Yvonne then sets out on a quest to find Amanda, while Alice takes a little snooze to find Freddy Krueger.
So you picked on Jacob, you bastard! You're trying to make him like you!
Make him what? A cool horror icon? 'Cause where we are now, he's not doing too good. Jacob sucks. She continues to run around until Freddy emerges and, for some reason, keeps disappearing for a couple frames. Weird. Eventually, Alice avenges Will's shitty death from Dream Warriors by using a stroller to stab Krueger through the chest in a narrow hallway. That's what you get for killing the Wizard Master, you prick. He's then attacked by what I can only assume is a mob of his fans as they rip off his arm and throw it around like a beach ball at a rave. Anyways, we see Jacob again, and Freddy's arm is just a little bit out of its socket. And they team up to create the Super Friends. Nah, I'm just kidding, but they do end up in that painting Relativity as Freddy makes us embark on one hell of a bad trip. We wind up in another church-like setting, and Alice turns into Ebenezer Scrooge, and Freddy starts coming out of her, which is really fucking random and weird, but I gotta ask.
Wanna suck the face?
And they turn into that split face thing from the Thing prequel, and Freddy pops out of her just like Jesse in Elm Street 2. Oh, and in case you care, I know I don't, Yvonne finds Amanda and she tells Jacob to kill Freddy, and this happens. And Freddy turns into that weird fucking tumor baby again and sucked back into Amanda's womb. What? What just happened? Okay, so let's recap. So far, we've had Freddy killed by no one fearing him, the power of love with no Huey Lewis in sight, having his bones buried and splashed in holy water, and by his own reflection making the souls rip him to shreds. And now, more kid souls, this time as weird sperm-looking heads, turn him into a humanoid gremlin and suck back into his mother's vagina. Kronk, what do you make of all this?
Well, you got me. By all accounts, it doesn't make sense.
Exactly. This is the worst death yet by far. Freddy, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, remember when you said that this movie was rushed? This is what you were talking about.
Anyways, Freddy's glove pops out of her chest and is locked away in plotline hell, I guess. And as our flick comes to a close, they all gawk over Alex's baby and hear those stupid little girls again. Geez, you know what this movie really doesn't need at all? Is a fucking rap number in the credits. Oh my god.
Get him. Well, I got him. My mouth is an Uzi.
Nope. No Freddy Krueger raps. That's a bad movie. Bad. And that was A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, and it's got some problems. To start off with the good, Lisa Wilcox is pretty good, Dan's death is fantastic, and Mark's death is pretty interesting. But other than that, it's pretty shitty. The plot seems like they just went, teens having babies is a problem, let's smear that forced message all over this movie. The characters are lacking. It's very unfortunate Dream Warriors had such amazing characters because now all subsequent batches of teens are almost guaranteed to be shit. And this is no exception. They're pretty bland, and the only one that got any development was Mark, and as soon as I started to care about him, he died. Freddy's makeup looked like absolute shit, and makes the first 4 movies look eons better in comparison. It looks like they had $5 and 10 minutes to slap his makeup together, and mix that with him being scary roughly 0% of the time, makes this movie not scary at all, and is about as interesting as doing a homework assignment. Also, the tiny body count makes a lot of this movie drag, and I know that's not a bad thing in and of itself, but when there's nothing in this movie keeping me invested, you can usually rely on a big body count to keep you entertained in later slasher sequels, but this one is just boring. I mean 3. A body count of 3. Overall, this movie makes the Dream Master look like Citizen Kane. It's got uninteresting characters, a silly plot, a low body count, Freddy Krueger being nothing more than a cartoon character, but Lisa Wilcox is decent, and some of the set pieces are that of a crazy nightmare, which is at least visually pleasing most of the time. I'm going to give A Nightmare on Elm Street 5: The Dream Child a D+, because it has a few things to enjoy, but lacking in most, if not all, elements of the characters and story, and falls even further from the bar Dream Warriors set, which is unfortunate. It makes this movie one that you could skip and not lose any sleep over.
Very nice. Exactly what I expected.
You still looked like shit in this movie. Like, really shitty. Like, so bad it makes me...
Enough! Now, let's see what's next. Home Alone 2... What?
What?
Let's spin again.
No. The Hell Demons have spoken. They want me to review Home Alone 2. For some reason. I just don't understand why. Does the fact that it turns 25 this year have anything to do with it?
Probably not.
Well, regardless, I'm reviewing it, and you can go fuck yourself. Oh, and, I'm Confused Reviews. Thanks for watching.